This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this StockBox interview.
Well, today I'm joined, of course, by Cedric Simonet, Chief Executive of Altona Rare Earths. Cedric, thank you for coming on today. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, not too bad. Now, it's been a pretty busy few days for Altona with a couple of news releases out. I wanted to begin by talking about the latest Fluorspar developments from Monte Muambe, where you've reported further impressive assay results, grades reaching up to 93.3%. So these come from a newly discovered ore body, separate from the fluorite zone that we've been developing. Can you tell us a bit about how you discovered this new ore body?
Yes, of course. So Monte Muambe initially had been recognized in the 1960s as a fluorspar deposit with fluorspar potential. It's only later, around 2010, that the potential for rare earth was discovered. And when we started at Monte Muambe, we looked very much at the rare earths. But then, since around September last year, we started to re-evaluate the potential of the fluorspar deposits, which are relatively small but very, very high grade. So we already knew about this fluorspar zone, which had been previously discovered and drilled. And since April this year, as you know, we have discovered gallium deposits at Monte Muambe, and as part of the gallium exploration, we realized that the gallium was actually not only taking us to gallium, but also taking us to more fluorspar. In May, we had some field work at Monte Muambe. We had a crew in the field. We started to do some ground follow-up on gallium anomalies, and we were looking very keenly at possible new occurrences of fluorspar, and we found some. We found that new fluorspar ore body in the southern part of the intrusion. The fluorite zone is on the western side. And that was very exciting already to find new fluorspar outcrops. Then we sent the samples to the lab. It took a few weeks to get the results back. And in the RNS, we announced the results. And to me, what is very exciting is not just that the highest grade is 93%, is that the lowest grade of the samples that we sent is 69%. When we sampled these ore bodies, we made sure that we were picking samples that looked higher grade and samples that looked at the lower grades, so that we document the whole range of grades. And having the lowest recorded grade as 69%, which is already extremely high grade, this is very encouraging for this ore body.
Yes, so those samples give you a real representation of the sort of scale and potential.
Absolutely. What this sample shows us is that there is more fluorspar ore than we thought at Monte Muambe. It shows us that there is more high-grade fluorspar ore than we thought. And this is excellent because we are right in the middle of assessing the potential development of the fluorspar deposit. So finding more high-grade fluorspar ore at this time supports completely our fluorspar mining project. We now think on the basis of these discoveries and on the basis of the metallurgical work that we did over the past few months that we should be able to produce 50,000 tons per year of acid-grade fluorspar, and that would be a very nice business for Altona.
Okay, great. So this new discovery really has the potential to improve the economics of that operation you're planning?
Yeah, it gives us a lot of encouragement about this operation, and now we want to focus really on it over the next few months. There are several things we need to do. First, we need to do some drilling to get a fresh resource estimate. The last existing resource estimate that we had on the fluorspar at Monte Muambe was a historical one from 2010, and it was not covering all the fluorspar outcrops, so we need a fresh resource estimate. And while we do the drilling, we will also get very representative samples to be able to do now the final advanced metallurgical test work, which is going to allow us to define the flow sheet for the plant. So we are going to do all this in the second half of this year, and we think that by the end of this year we will have a scoping study for a 50,000 tons per year acid grade fluorspar plant.
Excellent. So we can expect updates, throughout the coming months in the second half of the year.
There will be news flow along the way, of course.
Yeah. And with all this work on the fluorspar taking place, will you be continuing the investigations into the gallium potential of the project alongside that?
Yes, of course. So the gallium is a very recent discovery. Gallium is a strategic metal which is very sought after. Gallium is used to make electronic components, and these electronic components tend to have higher grade specifications. So typically they are used for military applications. So they are very, very important. Gallium is a very important metal. We discovered gallium in April. It's very recent. We are still trying to figure out exactly where it stands in the system and if it could be exploitable. We've made quite a lot of progress so far. Initially, we found gallium in two drill holes in association to rare earths. And by following up again, when we did the field work in May on the gallium in soil anomalies, we narrowed down on some new gallium anomalies. We did some trenches and we found samples of rock with up to 550 grams per ton of gallium. This is extremely high by gallium standards. We have now sent these samples to South Africa for mineralogical characterization. The mineralogy is going to tell us in which minerals the gallium sits, and this is going to give us some indications on how it could be extracted. And it's very interesting, and because the gallium anomalies are located close to the fluorspar outcrops, there are also some synergies between both exploration programs. For example, we have some drill holes which will be aimed at drilling both through the gallium mineralization and the fluorspar mineralization.
Great. So that gallium and fluorspar work in that particular zone complements each other, really. It can take place at the same time.
Yeah, well, what that means is that you have to move the rig only once to check both the gallium and the fluorspar. So basically, you spread the cost between the two projects.
Great. So plenty of stuff going on the ground. There was a reference to ongoing discussions with offtakers in the RNS. Can you tell us a bit about how those are going?
Yeah, that's right. So this is work in progress, but the fluorspar progress in particular has attracted a lot of interest from offtakers. We have been contacted by many offtakers, most of them from Europe, and this is why we are putting a lot of emphasis in developing our networks in Europe, in the critical mineral industry in Europe. You've seen we've recently joined an industry association based in Germany, FAB. And this is why we are developing our network in Europe, because we see a lot of interest. And we think that these NDAs that we have signed, that we have announced, are going to translate into more active engagement of some of these fluorspar industry participants into the project.
Excellent. That membership of the German Federation of International Mining Resources, that's really to help you build your industry presence in Europe.
Absolutely. This is really our strategy. As far as the fluorspar is concerned, we want to really make the most of these networks in Europe. Europe has a legislation called the Critical Raw Material Act, which supports projects, and the downstream mineral processing industry in Europe needs raw materials which are not necessarily accessible in Europe. So it's a perfect opportunity for Altona to develop its network, to find potential customers, potential strategic investors for the rare earths, for the fluorspar, for the gallium, and we are very active with this.
Excellent. Well, with so much going on, I'm sure we'll be speaking again soon, Cedric. Until then, thank you very much again for your time today.
Thank you, Dan.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.